This is Drew the Wise Guy. Hopefully I can give you some more information on getting over a breakup and just kind of how to deal with things like that. You know, many people have gone through breakups. Many people have had breakups, broke up with people, have been on the receiving end of being broken up with. And one thing I want you to know is I understand, because it feels like you have a part of you that's being ripped away from you, that's being ripped from your body, because that person has become something that you're used to, somebody that you can go to for talking about anything. Normally it's your best friend, normally it's the person that you're in love with. But when that breakup happens, it hurts. It hurts to the point where it may sometimes feel as though it physically hurts your body. Oftentimes after that happens, your sense of direction may feel lost. You don't know where you're going with your life anymore. You don't know what's going to happen. A lot of times depression can set in, and in that feeling of being lost, you don't know what you're doing. You don't feel like you want to do anything anymore. You don't feel like going and hanging out with the guys. You don't feel like playing video games even. You don't feel, I mean, who knows what it could be. You just don't have that feeling of wanting to do anything. A lot of times you feel anxiety from the loss of this person, or from losing something that you consider valuable in your life. A lot of times you may have feelings of inadequacy, like, was I not enough? Should I have been more? I mean, what are the things that I did wrong? That goes into that feeling of regret. Sometimes you have these feelings like, well, maybe if I'd have done this, maybe if I'd have done this, maybe if I'd have done that, maybe I could have made it last. Maybe it was me that did something wrong. What did I do? In terms of depression, or in terms of breakups, they have these five stages of loss and regret or grief. Obviously, one of the first stages is denial. You're unable to process the fact that this relationship is over and that it's not going to happen again. You feel this type of denial, in that you can't quite believe it. You're not, no, it can't really be happening. I mean, really? I mean, is it really happening? This can't be. Yeah, and then sometimes that stage can move on to anger. Then you feel very angry. You feel frustrated inside. You know, and you take out your aggression or your angst on friends that may be trying to help you get over something like this, or on your ex, and you start laying blame to the fact that, now, it couldn't have been me. It wasn't me. It was this person. They did this, not me. I didn't do anything wrong. Going to bargaining with yourself, really, but it's an attempt to bargain with those people or that person that you were in a relationship with, saying, you know, I can do better. I can be a better person. I can do better. I know what to say. I know what to do. I know what I did wrong. I can do this. Trust me. Believe me. I want to make a change. I want to be that better person, and you will see it. Then, of course, comes the depression. It's more of a realization that things are over and that they're not going to change. And no matter what you've tried, it's not going to happen. And then, hopefully and luckily, finally, is the acceptance that it is over. It's done with. The acceptance that you then finally have abandoned all your efforts to try to bargain with, or get angry with, or be in denial of the fact that this relationship has met its demise. And that doesn't mean that, like, say you couldn't be friends, or say that you couldn't at least be acquaintances on some level, but you realize that everything's going to be okay, and that your life and moving on with your life does not depend on this person alone. It depends on you. It depends on what you do and what you decide to do with your life. Now, any one of these stages doesn't happen at once. It doesn't happen maybe specifically in that order. Sometimes you may feel the denial, sometimes you may feel the depression, or you may feel the anger, or, I mean, they may be mixed match. These aren't necessarily an outline of what's going to happen in any specific order, but just that these are the types of stages that normal people go through in recognizing or in loss and grief in situations in their life. In dealing with a breakup, though, and I'll liken it to this, it's like a car door that's been hit. Like you're a car door. You've been hit in an accident. Your car's been rolled. No matter how much paint and Bondo you put on the door to make it, look good and work, it's never gonna shut properly. It's never gonna be like a car door that's never been rolled, or a car that's never been rolled. You've been rolled. You still have those dings, and right now you're just kind of covering them up. But realize that is not a death sentence. That is not the end. You can still plug along. You can still move forward. You're still working. Every person has some type of thing that's wrong with them. Every person has some type of dings or dents, and they're able to still keep moving on, and so should you. You should be able to keep moving on from these issues or these accidents, these wrecks in your life, and you'll be able to keep moving on. You have the choice to be inspired. You have the choice to be positive. Instead of looking at somebody else and looking at their life and saying, well, why does this guy have this, or why does that guy have that? These are things that are completely unrelated to you and your life. And instead of being inspired by those, instead of being positive about what you have, you choose to spiral. And there's nothing more miserable than sitting around someone who's complaining all the time. It's one of the most annoying things ever. Everybody hates it. When someone just sits around and they complain about their life and they don't do jack shit about it. And what you want to say is, you're crazy. You know what's wrong. Stop announcing it to everybody else and go out and fix that shit. It's tough love. And everybody needs it. Even I need it. You need to be able to push yourself. You need to be able to start trying to motivate yourself. You need to be able to get up and just start moving. Go for a jog. Do 20 push-ups. Clean the house if you have to. But you gotta just get up and you've gotta start moving, because you need to realize that no matter what, life is gonna continue to go on without you. And if you're just caught, if you're stuck in that molasses of time and anger and denial and depression, then everybody else is just going to be able to move on while you're stuck back there wondering, what did I do wrong, or what's going to happen, or how, not even how I'm going to change it, but how am I going to deal with this? What am I going to do? And the way to deal with that is to get up and to move, to get up and to do something with your life. Get off your ass and start physically moving. Because if not, the depression will bring you down, and it will physically atrophy you to the point to where you're not going to be able to get out of bed in the morning. And I know it seems like that, it's happened to everybody, and yeah, it happens to a lot of people, but yeah, I've dealt with this. I've been that person that I've had those days, those months, those years of just being able to, or not being able to, physically get out of bed, and just hate doing this and hate doing that, hate going around, turning my house into the metaphorical pigsty. And I had to one day look at myself and I had to say, I am in the bowels of Satan, so to speak. I mean, Satan is such an antiquated term, but I'm in the bowels of this hate and this depression and this anger. What am I going to do about this? And the way I dealt with it is I just started moving. I just got up. My battle, my war that I'm winning is getting up and moving and taking care of what needs to get taken care of. Because no matter what, everybody else around me is still going to move on with their lives. And I cannot be caught in the past. I'm choosing not to stay back and hold myself back. And hopefully you don't either, because you don't have to. You don't have to get caught in that molasses, that thick, syrupy clump of denial and that clump of depression. You have that choice to move on and to be a better person and to You can have the most negative thoughts in the world. You can be depressed every day. You can be crappy every day, whatever. But the thing is also you need to kind of, if you show somebody that you're a good worker, if you show somebody that you're a happy person, if you show somebody that you're a good neighbor or a good friend, they're going to believe it. They're not going to question it because they see it on you. And eventually, after practicing that, after doing that, after being that for so long, you will become that person. You will become that happy person, that non-negative person, out of denial and out of depression and out of that anger. And through you'll be a changed person. So to leave you with something, just realize that you are in control. You hold the key, and you are the gatekeeper that's constantly asking you the question, this amazing riddle, so to speak, of why live, why continue moving on. And if you can answer that question, then the doors open up into life again, into moving forward and being a part of the things that you love and the things that you have loved in the past. And you cannot let yourself be held back by yourself, because you're the one that makes the decision. You're the one that's going to have to move. So please, just keep moving.